Okay, and I want to talk a little bit about credit money. Going in to the shopping season, what do consumers really need to know about their credit?
Well, I think there's a couple of things that they need to know, and that if they don't plan properly, that it could affect their credit record. So what usually happens, we see over this period, is people get all caught up by the emotion of Christmas and this entire festive season. They buy without necessarily budgeting, so it becomes all emotional buys. And then when reality hits us in January and we have to go send the kids back to school, etc., etc., then there's no real money to pay for that. And we do then see that people's credit record is actually deteriorating, which means, just to clarify that, on a monthly basis, the credit providers update the credit bureau on how people pay their monthly bills. And if you skip a couple of months because you're trying to catch up after the December hangover, if I can call it that, then that shows on your credit bureau profile, and people will then struggle to get credit.
How can people stay on top of their credit this holiday season?
Well, I think there's definitely a couple of things to be done. Is that you need to, and I don't say people shouldn't buy anything, but you need to draw up a list and make a budget to say what do you really need and what do you want, and focus on the needs, so not necessarily on the wants, and spend carefully over this festive season to keep in mind the January back to school bills that is mounting up as we speak.
We've heard some stories about people, they buy something, they're not happy with the product, and they get into kind of a little war with the store. And if they've bought it on credit, they don't always want to pay off that credit. Is this a good idea?
Yes, I think that is one of the biggest culprits. If people are not happy with the product, number one, or they are not happy with the service that they've been provided, there's a powerful tool in their hands, and that is to stop payment. I would strongly advise against that, because that does have an effect on your credit profile, which have, as I mentioned earlier, have a further effect when you need to get credit for some reason. So I would definitely strongly advise against it. The best thing to do is to try to resolve that dispute with the credit provider or the bank. If you are unable to do that, and then you can come to us. You can come to the credit ombudsman, and we will assist you with that dispute. But do not stop payment.
And Mani, just before we wrap up, can you tell me what are some misconceptions about credit going into the holiday season?
Well, I think what happens, especially over this period, and I think I've mentioned it earlier, is that people think they had a long year, a tough year, and they deserve those special shoes, or they deserve that special holiday overseas. And it becomes a very emotional buy. And I think one should guard against that. Even if it looks a lot of fun and a lot of enjoyment can come from that, be careful. You need to think about the year ahead. You need to budget. You need to make sure you have a list of people that you want to buy any gifts from, and stick to that list. And I think look at things which you can, as a person and a family, can have value from, and be careful of emotional buys.
Great. And Mani, how can people contact you should they have any questions about their credit?
Yes, thank you for that. Well, if people have a problem in terms of a credit bureau information or the credit transaction, they can contact us on 0861 66 2837, or they can go to our website on www.creditombud.org.za.